The Electric State.
I've heard of it.
It cost $320 million and it's come directly to Netflix. You can watch it on your phone right now.
You could watch it on your phone. You could probably. You think you can? Can you watch Netflix on your Apple Watch?
Probably.
You can probably do it on like one of those cheapy watches. You can hack it, I bet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This reviewed horrendously.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, it's not great.
It's
I
not.
mean, also like the reviews are pretty harsh.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are way too harsh. I don't think it's that bad, but it did cost $320 million.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
I mean, I think what it is, it's because you have to pay everybody up front for Netflix because there's no back end on it. You don't get a percentage of the whatever for the lifetime, etc.
You don't get, you don't get as the actor or the director, you don't get money due to DVD sales or anything like that because there aren't any DVD sales. Matt Damon, of course. Look up. I reckon if you just went
Look up Matt Damon.
Look up Matt Damon. I think if you just went to Twitter and you put in Matt Damon, one of the first things will be that video from Hot Ones where he explains how movies work now. And
the rest would just be from that puppet movie that made fun of him.
Oh, him, the puppet going, Matt Damon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably giving Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt, at least $20 million? Then the Russo Brothers made two of the biggest movies of all time. So they're getting 50 to 80 probably.
And one of the Russo brothers is getting more because he's in it as well.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, there's too many robots. I'm an actor too.
That's right. I always give it a go in my movies.
I was the first gay man in the MCU.
That's right, and I'll be the last.
I said, Feige, if I'm going to come back and I'm going to do 2 more Avengers movies, or the post-credit scene to be me as a
I'm
gay
gonna be
man.
I'm gonna be in the all the gay characters fight part of Battle World, and I'm gonna be the victor. The Beyonders gonna make them fight to the death, or Doctor Doom, or whatever. I don't know. We don't know yet. We've just got a tailor's dummy with a green sheet over it. We're gonna fill in whatever the villain is, and he's gonna be like, all the gay characters are gonna fight. And I'll be the winner because I'm the director.
Well, that's good.
It is good, I think.
Did you see this week they came out and said that concept art that leaked was not them?
Interesting.
I think.
It is?
I don't know if it's them specifically because the movie was in development before they came on board.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that's from the movie. And it might not turn out exactly like that, but also Disney ran around taking that down.
That's true, they did, yeah.
Make it that way you will.
I think it's all a charade. James.
Yeah, I don't like the way they're charading us. Because, they're like, what's this? Sounds like, etc.
That's exactly.
You happy with that joke?
Yep. 2 words, Avengers, Secret Wars. And then you're like, that's
what?
3. That's
what are you saying?
Which part is the... Which two
Which
words?
two are they?
Which 2 words have you combined? Is it Secret Wars or is it Avengers Secret? What are you doing? I'm so mad right now.
It's a good joke, Mason. I'm happy with that joke.
We're happy with our jokes, aren't we?
Are you happy to tell me what the story was?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is based on a book.
You're just looking wistfully at an empty glass.
I wish there was something stronger in it than nothing. It's based on a book by Simon Stalenhag, who's an artist he's made a series of art books, and as we mentioned in previous weeks, he started out his career making sort of pastoral scenes, seasides and forests and such.
Yep.
And he got really good at those. And then he discovered the works of Ralph McQuarrie, the Star Wars concept artist, and he decided, what if I did nice outdoor scenes with weird stuff
a
and
big
robots
robot
in them?
in it.
Yeah. And so he did Tales from the Loop and Things from the Flood,
Yeah.
which is sort of art books that tell a sort of a vague-ish story.
They tell your story.
And one of which was turned into Tales from the Loop, the Amazon series.
Which is all right.
From what I've seen, it is pretty good.
Rebecca Hall's in it, mate.
Rebecca Hall's in it, and Rebecca Black, as we mentioned. They're both in it.
That's right.
But this one, I haven't read The Electric State. I don't know what the deal, but this one has a proper narrative as far as I know. But it is about
it's the future.
It's it's the 90s.
94 or whatever.
Yeah. It's an alternate reality.
Yep.
In which robots were created in the 1950s and became very advanced, and then they wanted equal rights, like the robots in the Matrix.
Yep.
And then there was a war, like the robots in the Matrix, like the Matrix movies.
Yep.
And then we live in a 90s where all the robots are sequestered off in an exclusion zone. The remaining, many of the robots were killed because a kind of a remote-controlled drone technology was invented by Stanley Tucci.
How'd he do it?
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
But he stole it from a little boy's brain.
Yeah.
But it's the future, and Millie Bobby Brown, her family was killed.
Yep.
In the robot war.
No, that was unrelated.
No, it was a car crash or something.
Yeah, but it was around that era.
It was around that era. It's something time. Yeah. But she has reason to believe that her brother. She becomes to learn that Maybe her brother's still alive somehow.
Yeah.
And so she wants to go into the robot zone. The
Row
only way
zone.
to get in there
The Row
is
zone.
The Rozo.
Zone.
She wants to get in the Rozo.
Yeah.
And the only way to get into the Rozo is to team up with a bloody charming rogue.
Yep.
And it's Chris Pratt.
It's Chris Pratt.
Star-Lord. It's Star-Lord.
Some of his worst hair.
Both 2 times.
2 times, yeah. It's his hair from the OC when he was in the OC.
That's right. And then his hair from Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's right.
Yeah, he gets a haircut. Spoilers.
He does.
He
Yeah,
gets a haircut from a
haircutting robot.
haircutting robot.
Have you seen the movie AI? Have you
Yep.
seen the movie iRobot? Have you
Yep.
seen the movie Ready Player One? Have you
Yep.
seen the Bruce Willis sci-fi epic Surrogates,
Yes.
among other movies?
Yeah. Have you seen the Bruce Willis movie Red?
Yeah.
Tied Extremely Dangerous.
I have seen that one. Yeah,
You've seen Red 2?
I haven't seen Red 2. I only saw Red 1, which I didn't mind.
Red 2, Bruce Control.
You say Bruce Control or Bruce
Bruce Control. It's got
just
Bruce
checked
Willis in it.
Yeah, I know. I just think Bruce Control works also.
It does. They're all punching and shooting in that.
They certainly are.
I've seen all those movies and more.
Yeah.
You can't name a movie I haven't seen.
No, I won't.
Not even Electric State. That one's at top of your mind, obviously, but I've seen it.
It's one of the most recent movies you've seen.
That's right.
Look, I think it is. I mean, everything's derivative of everything else at this point, but
But there's a difference between things being derivative and things being very derivative.
yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the Russo Brothers' other movies post Endgame. This is the only one I have seen. I didn't see Tom Holland's Cherry or Butthole, and I didn't see Chris Evans' mustache villain, the Grey Man.
The Grey Man, yeah.
And there might be another one.
Maybe.
Or was that this one?
This might be this one.
That's
Maybe
this
they've been
one.
spruiking this one for years.
Yeah, but this definitely, I can see there is some elements of this where I see like, oh yeah, there's some kind of Avengers kind of feel to this, like the dynamics, some of the interplay, but instead they're characters or robots you don't care about.
I'll tell you what, I liked some of the robots.
I like the robot that kept getting in bigger robots.
So I'm speaking of Avengers. We get Anthony Mackie as the voice of Chris Pratt's friend. His little robot.
I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
because they've tweaked his voice so he's on
that's
pitch.
great.
He's like, I'm a little robot.
I'm a little robot. I'm a big robot.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's his companion, his robot companion.
Okay.
Obviously these are directly, for the most part, a lot of these designs are directly from the original art books.
Yeah. I think a lot of them are too similar. Like they're all the same kind of big round head, smiley faced robot.
But I would say that of Fallout, for example, because they're
fair
all
point.
intended to be from a similar
particular
era, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I'm an idiot. You are right.
Thank you.
It's weird because like some of them are brands, not many.
There's a 7-Up robot, for example.
Yeah, there's a Mr. Peanut robot,
Yeah,
which
your
you think I'd have
nemesis.
a problem with, but I don't.
Because it's Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson,
Voice of Willie.
he's having a great time.
yeah.
Being a peanut man.
I think towards the end, I probably cared more about the family of disparate robots.
That is actually
than
true.
the
Good
humans,
point.
really.
Yeah. When some of them are getting blasted, you're like, I liked that one.
Yeah, I like that.
That one was cool.
I like the postman robot, for
Yeah,
example.
he was good. He was fun. He's like the baseball robot.
I like the baseball robot.
Yeah.
Who's the voice of the baseball robot? It was somebody very notable.
It was, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Jason Alexander's in this, but it's not him. I'll tell you that much. He's in it earlier.
That's true.
He's Millie Bobby Brown's dad. I'll tell you that much.
That's
I'll tell you
so
that
true,
for
isn't
free.
it? Yeah.
Let's have a look. What's it called again, this movie?
The Electric State.
Yep.
That's a bad sign.
No, it's good.
Oh, it's Brian Cox is the baseball
Oh, of course.
robot.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Kei Kwan's in it.
Yeah, I mean all-star cast. Kei Kwan, Anthony Mackie Brown, Jenny Slate is the is the male lady robot. Giancarlo Esposito as a grim, serious guy again.
Yeah, he's doing it.
You take those checks. Somebody put him in a thing where he's a wacky dude because I think he's a wacky dude in real life. And Stanley Tucci is in this, of course.
Yes, he is.
It's his role from Transformers.
It is. Woody Norman plays the younger brother of Millie Bobby Brown. He looks like little Jonathan Creek.
Oh, yes. That's true.
If you're familiar with that, Mason.
I am.
It does end in a big CGI fight in a field, which is how both of the Avengers, those last Avengers movies
That's
ended.
true. Yeah.
Which is fine. And then, it's like that element going on, I guess. I don't know. I just felt there wasn't a lot of like twists and turns. I think the human element for me was really like, who cares? My brother's missing. I don't care. You threw out all my He-Man lunch boxes. Okay.
Yeah,
Did
that's
ya?
true.
All right.
What's interesting is that
That's Chris Pratt's character, by the way.
that's true.
everyone.
Yeah. Because he's a junk dealer.
Yeah.
He is finding and selling kind of nostalgic items, some of which are, valuable, some are not, because he goes into the exclusion zone, which is, I guess, where the battle between humans and robots took place, and there's a lot of assorted junk, big mouth Billy Basses and
so forth,
19th century revolvers and what have you. And he's buying them and
he'll go to Coleman Domingo and say,
Coleman
"Do you want
Domingo
this
is
gun
in
or
this
whatever?"
movie, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Look, this is neither here nor there in terms of whether the movie is effective as a narrative or not.
Yeah.
It's weird to me that this is a universe in which a big world-changing innovation happens decades prior, and then a lot of the pop culture and everything else is still the same.
Yeah, okay.
Like they're still operating off America Online.
Yeah.
There's still big mouth Billy Basses and et cetera.
But you're also using a little VHS to record something, but you also have VR, which is indistinguishable from reality.
Yeah. The Ready Player One element is that in order to win the war against the robots, Stanley Tucci invented a device which is a virtual reality helmet you put on your head, and then you can remotely control a drone, so you can fight without risk to yourself. But then that means after the war, that got repurposed to everything. You use that to
go to work.
You can go to work, or you can
and kiss Cindy Crawford.
Be
as
somewhere
well.
else, or you can use it to learn in class, but you have to be in class.
Yeah.
You can't do it from home.
No, that's it.
Etc.
But there was this element that like it splits your brain, right?
Which was largely not used.
Yeah, that was not. Maybe that was a larger element of the story initially.
Yeah, maybe, but I got sort of chopped out.
Yeah.
There's a moment in this movie. This movie I think is intended to have a lot of throwbacks to the 90s.
Sure.
Even though it's not our 90s, it's a different 90s. There's a moment where Chris Pratt goes, he claps his hands and he goes, "Clap on," and then his lights come on.
Yeah.
Like the clapper.
Yeah.
But that's not how the clapper works.
It does in this universe.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you not know that?
But I think that to me struck me as a thing it was in the script. And then he clapped his hands and they went, a kid's going to think he's clapping to his butler to turn the lights on or whatever?
Maybe.
Does he think the kid's going
Did
to
everyone in the 90s have butlers?
Well, what if he said clap on?
Yeah.
Well, that's not how the clapper worked. Well, it doesn't matter. Couldn't he just say lights on if it's voice activated?
No, it's both.
Well, then it wouldn't be the clapper.
It's both.
But then Millie Bobby Brown just claps off later.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's a great point and well told. I thought this was okay.
It's okay.
But again, here's the thing, and I've said this before about a bunch of stuff. I thought Black Adam was okay, but that's also a thing that cost hundreds of millions of dollars. A thing that costs hundreds of millions of dollars shouldn't be okay.
But it's often the reason.
It's not my money.
No.
This is the thing I think this is a thing that maybe young teenagers would like.
Yeah, I was watching this. I'm like, I think my son would like this.
It's got exciting, it's got fun robot designs and a kind of a not scary adventure, really.
Yeah.
Maybe kids Millie Bobby Brown's age or younger would be like, oh, I see that protagonist. She's pretty cool. I like that.
Cool crimped hair.
Do you think that was a wig? You think
I
they
would
did
say
that
so.
Okay,
I would say so. Because earlier in the movie, you see flashbacks where she's different hair. So yeah, I would say it's a wig.
But yeah, it's a thing that it is fascinating to me that it's a thing that costs $320 million minimum.
Yeah.
Because it might be more.
Yeah.
And then it's something you put on for an afternoon for your kids, or
or
you just flick through and go, Electric State pretty good, and then it goes, did you like this? And you go, I can't be bothered clicking the thumbs up.
Have you ever done any of that?
I think for some stuff that was like I found to be quite good and I knew for a fact it wasn't doing well, like viewing wise.
Yeah,
something
okay, yeah.
kind of fun and interesting. I'm like, I double liked it. 2 thumbs up. That's helped.
100 likes.
Yep.
Yeah. God.
This shouldn't be like, this shouldn't be as difficult to come up with things we liked or even disliked for a movie that costs $320 million.
I mean, I could talk about some elements and some spoilers.
Go ahead.
Why don't we do some spoilers?
Look, I'm going to say...
God, it's so middle of the road. But you say like a movie like this that costs around $20 million shouldn't end up like this.
Mm-hmm.
But because it costs this much, that's why it is what it is also.
Because this so much was riding on it.
This is a direct response to the money that they put into it. They couldn't...
I would like if again maybe the Electric State on paper is different from the previous 2 Stalinhag books.
Yeah.
But I would say the defining feature of the first two and the defining feature of the TV series, the Tales from the Loop TV series, is like it's kind of sad and melancholic, and it's you feel it's kind
it's
of
like this world was something, and now it's in ruin.
It's in ruin, and kind of a lot of people's lives have changed, not necessarily for the better.
Yeah.
And everybody's just kind of sort of moving along, and there's none of that to this.
No,
but that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I'm curious as if they've changed the tone for the movie of this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
To be like zip zap zoom.
It is a bit zip zap zoom, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's great.
How about this?
Yeah, but I like as to what you were saying. You can't have. I don't think you could have it be sad and melancholic and kind of. Oh, let's sweep across this desolate landscape and have a long.
It's where the wild things are when they made that adaptation. It's like, what if all these monsters had depression?
You can't have that. You can't have people flicking on a fun time for Netflix and going, "Oh, this is sad and meditative." It's got to be zip zap zoom,
zip it and zappin',
zip it and zappin'.
My He-Man lunchbox. My G.I. Joe roller skates.
You've gotten too many Billy Basses. Oh, my lunch. You unplugged my fridge and I don't have any lunch.
It could have done more of that, which would have been bad.
Uh-huh.
There's only really one section of it where it's like, look at all this nostalgia. And you don't even really see it.
No.
They're just talking about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it looks good.
It does look
like
good.
the CGI, it's flawless.
It's
a flawless movie.
Yeah, there is no, I mean, again, you mentioned there is a big, battlefield scene at the end. And there's no, especially a Netflix kind of thing, you do expect a certain amount of fog of war covering up. No, it's really it is really solid, especially again, all the bots look.
It had me questioning at points. I'm like, some of these practical? Like, I don't know, but some of them feel like they could have been, but I don't know whether that's actually true. Yeah. Regardless, it looks very good.
Anyway, based on our rating system where we must award this best movie ever or worst movie ever, I'm reluctantly saying it's the best movie ever.
I might have to do the same.
Yeah.
But what was the last time I did this? Then I was mad at myself.
It was another one you've completely forgotten.
I had COVID, or I was recovering from COVID.
You said it was best movie ever, and then you changed your mind. You're like, actually, no, I can't even remember.
Yeah.
I'm going to scroll back through old episodes of our podcast, and then we'll know. Then we'll know we can't leave this.
That would have been like November-ish of last year.
Look, I wouldn't even say, if I paid money for this in the theater, I wouldn't even say, man, what a waste of money. I think this would have probably been better on the big screen.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe I would have been like, what a waste of money, because I would have paid more money for it. Right. I would have paid $25 to see this.
Right,
Yeah. What did I get caught out on?
Well, it wasn't Companion on Nosferatu.
No.
It wasn't the Superman trailer. It wasn't Kraven the Hunter, was it?
No. It wasn't Megalopolis, was it?
No. It wasn't Wicked, was it?
No.
It wasn't Gladiator, was it? Boy, we've covered a lot of movies, haven't we?
I feel like it was like a Netflix movie that I just gave a pass to.
Yeah.
I've gone past it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Mysterious. Someone will know.
Someone will know.
Keep it to yourselves.
Yeah. I'll figure it out before you can message me.
Yeah. And look, I know we're supposed to get on the bandwagon and crush this movie, but it wasn't.
I'm tired, man.
I don't think
it's not that bad.
No.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, also bearing in mind, I was like working while I was watching this.
Oh, right, okay.
I was like, I watched it, but I was like editing thumbnails and shit for YouTube. Right. So,
well, my attention was undivided, James, because I love a Russo Brothers movie.
Yeah, so a Russo Brothers joint.
Yeah, that's.
You like that movie where he's gay? Avengers: Infinity War.
That's exactly right. I do.
All right, spoilers.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't know. I think it's because this is a brand, the Russo Brothers, that is quite acceptable to bash now.
Yeah.
Fine.
Do you think, what is it? Do you think is it the working within the Marvel world that exclusively made them, are they like built from a lab specifically to work in that environment and that environment alone?
I think that because they, as we know, they started out doing episodes of Community.
Yeah.
And maybe even stuff before that. There's no way of knowing.
You mean Dupree?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, they are there to get in the Avengers movies, and which Captain America movies? Last two?
The good ones.
The good ones.
I mean, they're all good.
Yeah,
They
are there to get good performances out of the actors.
Yeah.
But isn't it the case in the Marvel movies that a lot of the action sequences have been planned out by other people? Is that?
I mean, they did some action stuff in Community, and then if you look at Winter Soldier compared to everything from before, it is different.
That's true.
And I think a lot of that is to do with them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're just better at the Marvel toolbox.
Yeah.
It's just, it's...
And also they've got a certain like writers behind them.
Yeah.
And they have that, you've got all these characters established or that people are excited to see.
Yes, exactly.
Whereas it's like Millie Bobby Brown's brother's a robot. And it's like, okay, is he?
Yeah,
Little Jonathan Creek is a robot.
I honestly think it may just be because there are more tools in the toolbox. If it's a bunch of clinking clanking robots, they can shoot baseballs out of their mouths, and some of them have a big punch.
Some of them
and
do.
some of them are robots stacked inside another robot.
That was
but beyond that, Marvel characters just have more
zip zap zoom.
They have more zip zap. Thank you. That's precisely the 3 words I was looking for. They just have more variety of powers, and you can mix and match, and you can develop a really innovative action sequence. Maybe they can kiss, or they can become giant. Those are the 2 options. But here you don't have either of those options. I guess you have become giant.
Yeah.
See, that's what I like. I enjoyed the fact that Anthony Mackie's robot guy had additional robots to be in.
Honestly, I loved that.
Yeah.
I thought that was my favorite thing. That he kept getting in bigger and bigger robots, but he'd have to get inside a robot to get inside a bigger robot.
That's true.
And then at the end, when you thought he was dead, he was a teeny little robot.
This is the thing that I was thinking of before. That this is from the Hollywood Report. I saw this earlier. That the Russo brothers said, and they did this. But do you remember when Avengers Endgame was finished and they made a big splash?
Yeah, I remember.
And they were like, I think cinema's dead. Actually, remember when they were like,
vaguely.
Yeah. Well, now they've said. Logically, it probably doesn't make a ton of sense for streamers to spend $250, $300 million in a movie.
Okay.
So now they're like, streaming's dead. Now they've
killed both.
They've got the bag from box office in the cinema era, and they said cinema was dead.
Yeah.
Now they've done.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to come door to door asking for money, and they're going to get all our money, and then they're going to say going door to door and asking people for money is dead.
That's right. They've said collectively, I still think you'll see some of those pop through, but I don't think it's going to be a healthy part of the business model. Well, thanks to the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
also, we know that.
Yeah.
We knew that before you did it.
That's right.
What the fuck was that movie? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. You said, was it Wicked?
It wasn't Wicked.
No, you like Wicked.
I'd stand by Wicked was all right.
And I said it was okay. I remember saying this movie was okay, and then afterwards I still said it was okay.
It was Red One.
Oh, yeah. That's gone, isn't it, forever?
That sucks, that movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's one of these. Kind of like, Red One's way worse than this.
It is, yeah. No, you're right.
So anyway, Stanley Tucci uses her brother, who we thought died in a bike accident.
Oh, yeah, if we can tell.
We're going back even further.
We're going back even further, so if people haven't seen it at all. So the big call to adventure is that a robot shows up in Millie Bobby Brown's gone to foster care because her parents were killed.
Yep. Forget that she's 21. Don't worry about
that's true. Yes, she's 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's in foster care, but a robot shows up, and it's a robot from a old TV series from back in the day.
He's like, hello.
And he can only speak in catchphrases.
Space.
He can only speak in catchphrases from the show, but she figures out because of the things that it knows that it is somehow contains the consciousness of her brother, and so she has to that
or does it?
Well,
it does.
It does. He is somehow communicating to her through this.
Or is he?
Yep.
He is.
He is. So then the thing you said with Stanley Tucci.
Yeah.
So in order to end the war, Stanley Tucci, he found the body of the brother. The brother wasn't quite dead.
Yeah.
But because he was a super genius, they did a brain scan on him and discovered that his brain was the key to the neural interface that powers the VR thing that lets you control the drone.
And you might be like, what?
But it is. You might be like, what, but it is. Hashtag you might be like, what, but it is.
It is.
And so he has been plugged into this system for years now.
Mm-hmm.
And potentially.
He's bald.
He is bald.
Yeah.
He got Professor X's his head all melted off when they put him in the machine, presumably. And so he is the cornerstone to all this technology. So every time you do a VR learning Ready Player One situation, every time you are at work but half your brain's kissing Sidney Crawford or whatever. That's right, Sidney Crawford.
Sidney Crawford.
Actually, it's going through his brain.
Yeah.
So they
seems like a very precarious system. Like when you're stacking like PowerPoints on top of each other. You know, like
oh yeah, for sure.
whatever
Oh,
they call it.
100%. Cyberpunk style.
Yeah, like you're running a fucking VR simulation of the entire planet through one person's head.
And it's mentioned in this movie that he could survive potentially for 100 years based in this life support system. But what happens after that 100 years? I guess you find another genius kid who's been in a car crash or whatever.
Yeah, you
but yeah, so the Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt, they go make it to the exclusion zone. They find a little community of robots that live in a shopping mall, and they're like, "We're going to team up with you guys, and we're gonna battle our way to the headquarters of the."
It's gonna be epic.
Of Stanley Tucci's lab,
Yeah,
where he's making transformium and also kid brain
matrix
podgrams. And then they get him.
Yeah, they do. They have a big fight.
They have a big fight.
Yeah,
and Mr. Peanut, voiced by Woody Harrelson, learns from Giancarlo Esposito, who's a noted robot hater.
Yeah.
He's like, actually, I hate Stanley Tucci more than I hate robots now, so I'm going to tell you where Stanley Tucci is.
You go get him.
That's right. And he does.
Yep. Yeah. And then they shut down the internet by bringing the boy out, and the boy died. But of course, you know he's not going to die because
you can't kill a child in a $320 million movie.
Yeah, I guess so. And also the robot is hooked up next to him, which had his brain in it.
That's true.
So at the end, he's alive. But they shut down the internet, and then Millie Bobby Brown is like, look, I shut down Ready Player One for everybody.
That's
but
right.
Actually, it's good, and stop looking at your goddamn phones.
That's right, exactly. And there's a news report where the gay Russo brother is like, and it's shut down all the life support and all the traffic management and whatever. I'm like, probably a lot of people died.
Yeah, that seems bad. Yeah.
And remember at the end of Ready Player One where it was like, we're going to shut down the internet Tuesdays and Thursdays or whatever. And it's like, what if you can only work Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Exactly.
I reckon maybe a system where you can pick 2 days off. Maybe that would be
I
a better
agree.
system.
I'm
if
with
I
you,
were
Mason.
there, that's what I would tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would tell Simon Pegg that. I'd say, hey, the ghost of Simon Pegg. How about
He played that guy?
No, he was the head of the company.
Was he?
Yeah.
I'm learning all. I thought it was Ben Mendelsohn.
No, that was Ben Mendelsohn was there.
Yeah.
But
I thought Mike Rylance
was definitely there.
God, I'm seeing movies.
Yeah.
Seen
But
too many.
Simon Pegg played the original founder of the company. He was the ghost. Remember? He's like, oh, I remember. I said
Wasn't that Mike Rylance?
No, that was Simon Pegg.
I thought Mike Rylance was the head of the company. And he was like, if you remember Back to the Future 2, you could come into the VR, win a gem, and the sword will unlock a fucking dragon or whatever.
Yes, he did say that.
And then you can ride King Kong.
Just stop playing clips from the movie for a second so I can get a goddamn thought out, James. Simon Pegg was there and he was a ghost and he was the real guy and he was like, I wish I love that girl and I wish I asked her out but I didn't, so I made Ready Player One instead. And then we all lived in
Embarrassing.
And then I made a magic quest. Everybody went on the quest to win $1 trillion.
Just ask the girl out. Look, she's probably going to say no, but then, you shot your shot and then go for another one later.
That's fine, yeah.
Fucking rally, man. What are you doing?
No, don't rally. Just crash really hard so a dystopia happens. Can't imagine that happening to a billionaire, can you? World is ending because somebody got double divorced.
A lunatic spitting out.
Yeah, no, I can't
And then
imagine
making it everybody else's problem.
I can't imagine that, James. I cannot imagine it.
Anyway, get off your phone, everyone.
If you could get off your phone, that's the lesson here.
Yeah.
Get off your phone and play with some little metal toy robots or a Billy Bass or whatever, because that's the only real entertainment.
Yep, nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Yeah. Got some reviews here from people in the Great Mates group. Danish says, I expected to hate this, but I ended up enjoying it. It's not perfect or memorable. I can name a few movies that's worse than this. There you go. You can name a few movies that are worse than this. That's pretty good.
That's great.
Red One. There's one.
Oh, we'll forget that, though, so think of a second backup movie for when we forget Red One in 10 minutes.
Harry Scott says, no spoilers, just a plea from someone who made the mistake of watching this. Don't. Just don't. Don't let your curiosity get the better of you. Don't let them make a single penny. They don't have to. Chris Rendina says, honestly, I didn't hate it. It's not great, but I enjoyed some of the characters and I love the world and the robot designs. Ultimately, it ends up being a big mess that buckles under its own weight. Shame, though. It's not without potential. I feel like there's a great movie in there somewhere. And Sebastian Kavala Khan says, lifeless and bland and boring.
Nice.
There you go.
Not wrong. See, I speaking to that point, and I've said this before, and I'm probably wrong.
I've said this too, by the way.
But I think that in the kind of professional review class, there are certain people you can take big, mean swings at.
Yeah. Oh, and they're in this now. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're in this now, and it doesn't affect your access to stuff.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of, again, not this. This was great. There's better movies that came out this week.
Yeah.
But I think that we see people rubbing their hands together and going, it's time to say here's the death of movies because this came out.
Let's kick.
It's not certainly not the rebirth of movies.
I mean, and I think this is probably more justified, but like Zack Snyder's Netflix, there's 2 worse movies than this. Like, yeah, that got an absolute kicking.
I think at the very least, this would be, again, like I said, I don't have any kids, but I think if you were, you know, got some.
Well, I had the opportunity to watch this with my son, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't want this in his memory.
No, no. Well, it won't be.
No, it won't. It definitely won't be. He's never going to say this. That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, what an incredible movie to talk about, whatever it was we just did. And I think
it's going like the sands of
I feel
time.
like we're going to hate this longer over time because we're going to forget it. We're just going to make jokes about it for like probably the next 3 years.
I don't think we're going to make a single joke about it. It's not bad enough, I don't think.
No, but the joke will be that we don't remember it. And that will be the thing that we remember about this, that we don't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be like, remember that big cat-headed robot?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it Felix the cat?
No, don't think so. But it's got that vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah. Reminded me when all the mascots came to life in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And that was good.
I agree.
All right, should we move it along?
Let's move it along.
To what?
What we reading?
What?
What we gonna read?
What?
Yeah.